Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is misleading people, is misleading the public on the subject of the trade unions being a stumbling block, right? Being the stumbling block in the country. He refers to the trade unions as the reason that the government is unable to employ more workers, but particularly in this case, more police. But he did not just leave it at that. He also mentioned about even the issue of the factories. And you know that when you talk about the factories, now you're talking about the private sector. So he says the unions are destroying the jobs and all of that because the unions are demanding higher wages for workers. I think any straight-thinking person, and of course someone who's thinking logically, will know that what Mkhwanazi is saying cannot be true. It is a lie and it is misleading. So, and it also needs to be challenged. It cannot be left alone. What Mkhwanazi has said cannot be left alone. You see, of course, and I think before people lose their heads and all of that, none of us, especially me, is saying Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has no right to air his views. Of course, just like any other South African, he's got the right to air his views. But just as much as he's got the right to air his views, right, we also have the right to contest his views. Whilst it is his own constitutional right to air his views about these matters, it is also our constitutional right to contest his views and expose, right, and expose the lies that are contained in what he's saying. Thank you guys for tuning in. Welcome to the platform. My name is Kosa. So as I've already said, that anyone who's thinking straight, who thinks straight, they know that in this country the workers are the lowest paid. He cannot now be blaming the unions that are organizing, the police. In this case, we'll refer to the likes of SAPU and POPCRU and all of that, and say that the reason that government is unable to employ more police, it is because the unions are demanding higher wages, meaning the government does not have enough in its fiscus to be able to pay those police and also employ more police. Simple thing. Let's look at this so-called GNU, the so-called Government of National Unity. How many cabinet members does it have? How many ministers? How many deputy ministers? In some departments, there's a minister, there's a deputy minister, and there's a second deputy minister. And we then compare the packages. Compare the packages that those ministers and those deputy ministers are on. Then you compare those packages to the packages that an ordinary police receives. Then you see that it cannot be that unions are blamed for the government austerity measures. The austerity measures that the government is taking, it is because of the ideological outlook and ideological stance that the government has taken, which is to do what? Which is to follow the Washington Consensus, which is to toe the line of the World Bank, which is to toe the line of the World Trade Organization, which is to toe the line of the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. It is because the ANC government, now it's even worse for that they've gone into bed with a part of neoliberalism, a part of apartheid, the Democratic Alliance. It means now the ANC has fully embraced neoliberalism. The reason we don't have enough police on the ground, it is because of the neoliberalism that says government must apply austerity measures. Before Mkhwanazi can blame unions and the workers and the police, let him look at the auditors generals. Every year in South Africa, the auditor general releases the report. Billions and billions of rands go to waste. Meaning billions and billions of rands are unaccounted for. So you must ask the question that what happens to that money? Who takes all that money? It is the very same money that is actually supposed to be invested in the government to ensure that government does what? To ensure that government employs more police. And what Mkhwanazi said reminds me of what Thomas Sankara said. I hope you guys know of the great Captain Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara had this to say. He said, a soldier without any ideological training is a potential criminal. I repeat, Thomas Sankara said that a soldier without any ideological training is a potential criminal. Is a potential criminal in a way that that person can be a criminal against the needs of the people. You see, this it rings to be true when you examine the ideological stance that Mkhwanazi is taking on this matter. You see, so indeed he has fired blanks on this one. He has missed the target on this matter. It has to be said. It has to be said without any fear or favor. You see, without any fear or favor, it cannot be that you want to blame the powerless. You want to blame the people who do not have the means, people who do not sit in the boardrooms to make the decisions, but you turn around, you blame them, but you leave the people who are the actual reason that we are in the morass that we are in. So it's something that has to be said. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please guys remember to comment, like, share, and also guys remember to join, become a pay member as Fiso Mbajwa has done. Thank you Fiso for joining. Thank you very much guys. Siyabonga ma Africa.